Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trials of VinTear. Short rest for episode 9. Oh, a lot of things happened today. We had a little mini adventure with Morris and Diva. We had a big fight with everyone now fully together against the Thespian. And you guys made it to the manor, the ghostly manor. I should turn this off.
Yes, please. Drive me nuts.
I am open for questions, and then we can do a quick recap of what happened.
What the hell was that in the rod?
Yeah, I have questions. Is that the
Was
dreamer?
that what happened with the wave and the desert? Was that like world lore backstory that we got of the gazing pool going across the desert?
I like the smile we got.
We got something.
Yeah,
We got
I
something.
think it matches. I mean, not 100% sure, but definitely matches the history you've been told. Not. I mean, again, no one who used to, no one who survived that is still alive nowadays. It's been so long. It's lost to the ages. But yeah, there were some words also left out within my sort of fake, ancient language. That if anyone caught it, good for you. Those who were catchy enough to catch it. But
certainly not me.
you did experience a continent-sized tidal wave caused by a rip in the world, where a giant eye is followed by 10 other eyes, tossing chunks of earth, burning up within the atmosphere and smacking into the planet.
That's the curious part for me. Like, why? Are we just the trash can for other planets? Just like, I don't know what to do with these. You can have them.
I don't. For those who have watched Mosted, I don't think I'm hiding too much. Does anyone remember the phrase "fireflies in the night sky"?
It's from the book,
Bug.
from the dreamer. Or Evergrey, I can't remember, but yes, there is a book.
That was the Dreamer book.
Have it in my... Don't
So-
make me get out the old
I have to
journal.
take a
Have
note.
it.
We can skip past it. I can give it since you guys have notes on it. But essentially, in our previous campaign, the party learned of a being known as the Beholder, which was a or not Beholder. Well, essentially,
Dreamer.
it's Beholder, the Dreamer, who is a beholder who has fallen into a endless sleep within the astral sea. And the way the astral sea works is that dreams and unconsciousness become more, and because the way that beholders replicate is through their own dreams, being enhanced by the astral sea in whatever state it's in, there is a very well-known creation story of Mosted, which was named the Fireflies in the Night Sky. So-
I see.
I think what we
Cool.
can essentially say is that you guys just watched, Morse and Devo just watch
How that came to
Mosted
be.
being created in the aftermath of that creation.
That's super cool.
Full circle. For something
Which-
else.
which-
Yeah, I love that.
which lends it all to the same that Mosted in itself was not real in the real sense, but rather a dream of the dreamer, and we were all part of that dream. So
that
effectively,
goes
we
to
are
a
a
whole
dream.
other thing.
Yeah, we time traveled in a dream.
There's always that question.
Mind blown.
There was a wild question whether or not the beings and people who populated Mosted were of the Dreamer. That was always a big concern of the last party. Of like, are we just a
yeah.
dream of a dreamer? Because this continent was brought into by this being. That never was actually fully definitively answered, explored.
No.
So we don't
She wanted
know.
Because Evergrey wanted to wake him up. And we were like, we can't let her wake
Yeah,
him up.
And-
And our
and that-
stance on that was just absolutely not. So.
And the reason for that is because as we exist within this dream of the dreamer, if the dreamer wakes up, we cease to exist.
Now the big question is, did you enter a dream because if you guys did travel and did witness this, you affected things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a statue of, at least the way this played out within the rod, or if that does anything, is that there is a statue of Morse and a statue of Diva. If everything plays out like it has, somewhere within the desert,
We gotta go to get the Glass Leech Desert. I gotta find these statues. I will scour that place.
I can imagine it's the Star Wars parody movie where you're literally combing the desert with a comb.
I'm more upset by gonna find out like, oh no, there's a Morse and Diva cult in the desert.
Oh. Oh
did they
God.
survive?
What have you
Who
guys
knows
been
if they
doing?
Who knows if they
made-
survived?
Are these deities? Were these beings worshipped in another civilization?
They just saw two people come from the sky, land
Yeah.
safely, and were like, "You must be gods."
I didn't know what they said. I couldn't understand.
Fair, fair.
I was like, all I know is there was a time glitch. So we
Mhm.
affected something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I have to
excited
ask.
for the conversation from Morris and Diva to Legati, who is our historian buff, of how that's going to play out. So I'm excited for that.
I do have to ask because this has been burning like this. I'm pretty sure this is exactly what happened, but I just want to know. As we were existing within the rod,
Mhm.
there were glitches. There were things shifting and turning and doing all sorts of
Yeah, like
like the twisting of a rod in the real world, affecting the beings within it. I hate you so much. Tell me what I want to know.
The
You'll
rod's
never know,
broken
'cause it's
now.
broken,
We'll never know. Yeah.
It's gone.
That's like an end of campaign question, Steve, like what we did last time.
I always have these, and I can never know until the end.
Gotta
I
write
know.
them down.
So you gotta jot this one down.
And then Legati broke the rod, and you guys are out. Hey!
Yay!
Not killed
Everything's
by
fine.
giant tidal wave, which, by the way, Morris, what in your logics made it smart to run away from the cosmic tidal wave?
Diva, what logic is it to hide inside a pyramid for a giant continent-sized tidal wave? That's not.
I didn't want to be outside for it.
Either way, it doesn't matter. This is
it's
why
a
I'm like,
lot of-
okay, yeah. It's like
It's
either
all
way,
doom
you
and
choose to
gloom.
go. Yeah, you do. You choose to go underground. I choose to run because either way, it's pointless. So
You guys could have split, and if the rod was never broken, you could find out.
thanks, Gotti. I will never know.
Thanks
Now
for
I have
not letting
to
us drown.
imagine what would happen if I was hit by a continent-sized tidal
Oh,
wave.
now it's just another what if now.
Then you guys fought the Thespian, which I had all of this, like, I like the idea that there was, like, these places where you could not stand.
Yeah.
And he was able to throw this anchor that also sort of was like, now you can't stand here. So there was a moment where I was like, finally, I'm able to use it. But everyone was hitting him really hard, so... Very
Now I'll
good.
never know.
I
I'll
like
never
the-
know what he'll taste like.
You don't wanna.
The
Yeah, there's
claw's
probably,
still
like-
there, right?
Yeah, technically.
Legati wants to see if you mutate. We'll warn you.
Oh, that's right. He really wanted to see what happens when you ate this
I,
radioactive
dare you.
I felt obligated to warn Phoenix that it may lead to mutation, but I
right.
wasn't saying you can't
Don't.
eat it. I would, yeah.
I just
I just
said
want you to
against
go into
it.
it with full knowledge of
I
what
love you
might happen.
warned Phoenix, but I don't remember you telling Morris anything.
He wasn't. Phoenix actually had a cooking fire going. She was moving along. If Morris ate a bite of the claw raw, I guess I would not have had a chance to.
You know,
warn you.
because then if I die, then who's gonna go really fast and go?
You don't know
down?
their intention until they do it. Yeah.
Listen, Gotti. If I mutate or if I die, who's going to kill the thespian? Who's gonna hit the baddies? Really,
He's already
really
dead.
hard?
How'd you get the claw?
I guarantee you,
Yeah.
he's gonna.
Who do you think
volunteer
took the
one
claw
of
from
us.
him?
You guys then made it to our little ghostly manor, where I think we now got a little hint, at least maybe a little nod towards Morris. I forgot. I was like, yeah, Morris's background. You were raised in kind of a ritzy area.
I wasn't ritzy, but I was, in fact, trained in that.
You were
Yes.
trained. Yeah. Little nod to that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there were at least these spirits in here seem less mutated than the ones outside. Still stuck to and bound to a duty. And you guys, at least Morris, you met the master. Everyone else is downstairs going, you're listening to voices talk.
I'm listening for my cue to run really quickly.
Yeah.
I feel very much in danger. Just off of how sinister the first line he spoke was.
Just be cool.
Well, I
Cool.
actually did not feel sinister energy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there was a different tone, but I feel like with the tone and then the context, this might be a nice individual if you're good at speaking. Which is why
Morris
we're
is
down.
always judging people just because they're undead.
That's why I'm
Always
kind of
making assumptions.
concerned.
Well, I mean, you know,
Because-
if the ghost towel fits, I guess.
The undead, the previous undead ones, the ones that was tied to the little Coliseum place, I was kind of with Aaron when they says it's like, hey, they're entertained. Okay, they're happy here. Oh, they can stay here.
I mean, if they're content, just let them be.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid what you're gonna say to the manor ghost.
Yeah, everyone
Have
has
to
very
tune in and find
conflicting
out.
vibes
Everyone else
to
now, everyone's like
Focus.
that initial fear, like, uh-oh.
Everyone's just gonna have to tune in and find out, I guess.
So that was kind of like the recap. Is there any questions?
Um,
None that you
I
can
have-
answer.
yeah, none that you can answer. I've asked my question.
My question was the dreamer stuff.
The dreamer stuff, yeah. Essentially, Morse and Diva were able to live a cataclysmic event that was only recorded by a cult that's now long gone.
Mm-hmm. I literally messaged Temple and was like, nobody touch a book. No.
Yeah, that was as soon as she sent it to me, and I'm like, yeah, I know.
I didn't. I just didn't. Really...
Reality.
Honest, like as soon as I got in there, I just really wanted to I just wanted to see what was around me, what was going on, but not with that Nat 1. I was not with that.
I see nothing.
Yep.
I like that because it was funny because there was this moment where I was like, how do I really wanted to play a scene in the rod, and I'll tell you guys right now, the sort of behind the scenes. Initially, it was just going to be like you guys in a waiting area, like what they would have in a genie warlock, where they have like a little bottle of respite. Like maybe you were just like having a nice. There's also like a magic item where you get transported to like a day spa or something. Maybe you're just having a wonderful day. And then Amber said something to me,
Oh, this is me?
and I went,
You really said it's your fault.
and then I went, oh, what is happening? And you said something online. I forgot what you said, but it was like, whatever adventure they're having. And the word adventure stuck in my head. And I was like, oh, let's make this event. Let's make this a full thing.
So this is
Thanks.
your fault.
Thanks.
Hey,
If we
You're
also fall down
fine.
into a realm of monsters, that one may also be my fault.
Thanks.
But no, they saw you guys as gods. They built statues as time, like essentially the glitches were like time jumps. You saw the beginning of a city being made to the end of a civilization, and then everyone fleeing for their lives. Yeah, only a small like pockets of people survived the tidal wave through probably powerful arcane means. But this city was still pretty young to have that capability.
So there were survivors, or possible survivors.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are descendants from people who survived. That's why there's less cities here in VinTear, is like pockets of people were like, okay, now we build.
I have a request. A request of everyone. I'd like to do something that I don't think we've done before. At least not like this. I'm gonna run it by the DM first. I want to play a what if.
Oh,
Specifically, the scenario is that each of us was locked in the rod. And how, like, individually, how would us be like? We know that the order, obviously, I got into the rod first and Diva came after. Let's play this game, assuming you were the first person trapped in the rod. How would it have played out? And then shortly after, what would you have done? And then you choose another player, and how would their presence within the confines of this rod alongside you have affected.
I think
the
that's a lot
scenario
of
you were in.
That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of variables. I think a great way to structure this is that
What if?
what if your character was brought into this rod, led into this world, and you were given a statue of a god and then saw the end? How would your character react? So we kind of saw how Diva and Morris did. Like, how would Legati, if he entered this space and saw himself being structured as a god and then saw the end of the world?
God, he would die happy.
Yeah, I think the
Dumbfounded.
deal is like, if I did recognize it as history, which like if it is apparent to Legati that this was a historical moment, I think if he figured that out, it would involve doing whatever I could think of to do to change things, to possibly make a mark that I could then go check for later. Yeah, definitely the god thing would be great. I mean, it would just be about, I would maybe consider that, like, you know, with the Salal and the change and everything, it would be interesting. I want to see what would happen to mess with stuff as much as possible. So I would be doing that up until the moment that a tidal wave struck me. And if Phoenix was there, I would ask her to run in a single direction as far as she possibly could. In case we were in some kind of pocket dimension, I would want her to go figure out if there was an edge to it. But I'm not going to do that. But if she was there, I would ask politely.
That's
if she would
fair.
mind doing
Phoenix,
that.
how would you react to being made into a god and then saw the end?
Mike, you know how we made the joke that she just attracts crazy old men, but not like in a sexual way, just like in a general, like she attracts crazy old men and they gravitate towards her. She has found the third.
Oh, okay. Fair. But no, how would you react?
Me?
Like, what would you do?
Yeah. The question is to everyone here.
If I'm in there with Legati, I mean,
No, not just a general. Like, how would you react to being made into a god and then saw the end? It's a simple question, Amber. How would you react if you were turned into a god and saw the end of the world?
hey, shut up for a second. What?
Would you eat the moon if it was made out of barbecue spare ribs?
Does Phoenix know anything about the Dreamer because she's from Mosted? Would she know anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
If
No
she
one's ever
doesn't know
messed with the
anything,
dreamer.
Except
Well,
those three crazy
within-
people at one time.
Wait.
Yeah.
I
Well,
did
about
bring
the
that
party.
up, but I'm so sad you guys weren't there for it. She basically gave her mini backstory with the Griffins, but we'll get to that later. I mean, she's always up for a good run. She'd probably roll her eyes a little bit at Legati, but probably do the ask.
Oh my god, answer the question. How would you react to being a god
I
and then
don't
saw
want
the
to.
end?
Yeah,
She
by
might not
yourself.
wanna
Yeah,
be
No
by
one else is
yourself.
there. Just
By
you.
yourself.
by myself.
Titan's got the.
I think
she
she
understands
panicked.
the assignment.
She'd totally panic. Like, that was just like, okay, I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't want to be a god. Just like, no. But she'd like to explore, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah, running. How would Arrow figure this out?
God. Okay. I think he would not. He would also not like to be a god. That would be kind of something that's like, whoa, incorrect, wildly incorrect. He would like to explore the city and probably get to know those people. As for seeing the end, I think it would take him a second to like process it, and then he would walk into the desert toward the tidal wave.
Oh yeah.
And then just like pause, maybe like 100 feet out and let it hit him.
It's kind of hard to fight it. Another thing that kind of just struck my mind is that Legati would probably be exposed to all this ancient language that doesn't have a name or a tongue or a written script, and it's like it's not found anymore. And it's like I'm gonna memorize all this.
Everything.
Yeah, then
Everything.
I write it down and try to translate it back
When I
in the
come
real
back,
world.
hopefully I
I
come
mean,
back.
honestly, we'd
Yeah.
probably be the best pair to be in there together because my background is the Wanderer, basically surveying the land and finding out information and coming back and telling somebody. So, like, me and Legati would be a good pair to go in here.
Also the worst. Also the worst to send in there. Not so much because of Phoenix, but because the Gotti will literally change history.
Oh, this
Don't
was.
touch that.
By the way,
Don't touch that.
these puzzle pieces fit so well because there was a moment where Morse and Diva were arguing with each other. I written in that Diva was going to be the god for who found, like, basically the civilians, and Morse was sort of more worshipped from the military and sort of upper class might. And so and when you guys started arguing, I was like, of course, the next time jump is them. Statues have been defaced. People have chosen one god or the next. There's some argument. Years have gone by, and people are like, "Is this real?" Or do you worship the kingdom, the king god, or do you worship the civilian god? Who do you worship? And there was some infighting.
The funny thing is, the only reason Diva was fighting with Wars about it is, in her mind, it didn't register she was viewed as a god. Is more of Wars did something to people to make them think as him the god, and that's not okay. So what did he do?
Yes, because it was Moors, and not the person who's got a statue right over there.
Yours is first.
You did it first.
I think the bad thing is, if Diva went into the situation without the context of she knows what happened to Moors and why he's there, minus the god situation, she probably would lean in. Everyone's saying they would go explore and figure out what the city. I'd be like,
Yes,
no, more.
Yeah.
Bring me food.
Like
That is precisely what I was gonna say. Like, we saw what actually played out, and had the situation been changed a bit, like had there been a passage of time in the rod that was different from the reality, let's say whatever happened to Diva happened in like 30 minutes, right? Maybe hundreds of years could have passed within the rod, and at that point since obviously passage is different, I'm assuming there isn't really a life or death type of thing because it's a different dimension. I don't know how it works. Anyway, long story short, I would totally lean into it.
Die in the rod, die in real life. I don't know.
Yeah. Diva would come in, and then she would also be treated as a god, and there would be god on god combat. It would
There would definitely be a war. I told.
and we'd call it the War of the End. Yes.
But I think now it's time for us to enter our own rod. Phrasing. And I think that's what we're going to call today's short rest. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll check you guys for the next. Wait.
Yes.
Hold on. I think actually this is the session. I should have mentioned this. I think this is the session we're back from Tasha's. I think.
Time's a weird soup.
Time's a weird soup. We're back from Tasha's, everyone. Why shouldn't I mention in the beginning?
Yeah, we're back from the rod.
Hey. See you guys later. Bye.
Don't touch random things.